you stand. Come on. It's not the food that stinks in here.
Yeah, Mrs. Morris, I was wondering if you could come down to the attendance centre this morning. Oh, no, there's nothing wrong. It's just that, well, I know you're real busy and all that, but it's so important I wouldn't really ask you.
Come on.
I've got to go now. The others are waiting for me outside. Yeah, you won't forget. OK, bye, Mrs. Morris.
Come on, Burns, we haven't got all day.
I reckon it'll still be there when I get there. Bye, Jude.
Bye, love.
Haven't done much with my life, I suppose.
Oh, you got plenty of time to set that straight.
Oh, I don't know now.
Of course you have. You're only a bit of a spring chicken. Any door?
Yeah. Your lunch will be ready in a minute, Peter.
Oh, I'm not going anywhere. Of course, I suppose it would have been different if I'd had a job, something to do. The only hassle is I spent more time out of school than in it.
Were you sick like little Martin?
Nah, I just used to wag a lot.
Oh, God, who didn't? I used to go walk about myself when I was a kid. I had this lovely little hideaway.
Yeah, I got a place like that myself. An old boathouse down by Taylor's Bend. Used to go fishing there all the time.
Sounds beaut.
Great spot.
Oh, bum!
What's up, love?
Well, Mrs. Morris ought to be here by now.
Oh, she'll be here, I reckon.
Well, maybe she won't show.
Of course she will.
Well, you must be really starving by now.
Yeah, well, I am a bit hungry.
Yeah, it was real cold last night. I'm sorry I couldn't get an extra blanket in for you. Were you okay?
Yeah. Of course, it would have been different if I'd had somebody to cuddle up to.
Oh, yeah.
I reckon a young bloke like you's got a bonza future. So long as Mrs. M can work something out for you and you don't go mucking around by being on the run.
Hey, she's here. She's just outside talking to Fletch.
Oh, I told you she'd be along.
Oh, geez, I hope everything's going to be okay.
Julie, I'll be out for about an hour. Yeah, Brian, file those. No, it's... Well, this is supposed to go out today. Oh, damn it. Jim hasn't signed it. I knew this little Jauncey attendance centre would mean the paperwork would be pushed to one side. Only one thing for it. As if there isn't enough to do around here.
She has her knickers in a knot this morning. Huh.
Well, that's the way things stand. I'm afraid I can't just wave a magic wand and make everything all right.
So I just walk into some cop shop and say, well, g'day, here I am.
Well, I don't see what else you can do. But I do know that if you give yourself up voluntarily, it will look a whole lot better than if you're caught. I'd come with you.
Oh, it's not as if you'd done something real bad, Pete.
It's not as if he's done anything at all, really.
Except run away. And if you explain why, and tell the police you didn't know your friends were going to rob the petrol station, I think you'll probably get off quite lightly.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I really don't think you've got much choice.
You mean you dob on me?
Mrs. Morris, you wouldn't do that.
Oh. Well, I wouldn't want to. Just hope you don't force me into that position. Look, if you hadn't told me about all this, the police would have caught up with you eventually, and then they'd be less likely to believe your story.
I reckon she's right, Pete.
Right, will you come with me now?
I don't know. Geez, I can't even think straight at the moment.
All right. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you a couple of hours to make up your mind. But if you don't come with me then, I'm afraid I'll have to let the authorities know where you are. Doreen, can I have a word with you? You've made things very awkward for me, Doreen. You know I should go straight to the police.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that, but we didn't know what else to do, Mrs. Morris. I mean, it's not as though everything that's happened was even Peter's fault.
I understand that. But all this isn't doing him or yourselves any good.
But you are going to give him the couple of hours.
Don't worry, I won't break my word. But I expect you to do your part. Now, for Peter's sake, just make sure he's here when I get back.
Excuse me.
Yes?
You're from welfare too, are you?
No, I'm a prison officer at Wentworth.
Well, I wouldn't have thought that welfare had anything to do with a prison. Still, I've always thought there was something funny about those women.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Which one of them have you come to pick up?
I haven't come to pick up anyone. I have business with the officer in charge of the prisoners.
Prisoners?
Not that I think it's any of your business.
Look at that.
Oh, hell.
Jim, this report.
What the hell are you doing here?
I forgot to sign this report. It's important it goes out today.
What do you mean by turning up here in uniform?
Why shouldn't I?
Do you know how much trouble we've been having with people like that woman you were talking to?
You're being a bit silly, aren't you? Is there a problem?
It was bad enough when she thought we were from a welfare organisation. What do you reckon it's going to be like now?
Yeah, why didn't you turn up with a neon sign? You could let the whole neighbourhood know at once.
All right, Smith, that's enough.
Oh, what does she do for an encore? A public flogging?
I said that's enough.
Jim, I don't think...
Please, Meg, keep out of this. Yeah. Now get back to Wentworth before you cause any more trouble.
Oh, very well. But I think you're being ridiculous.
Oh, it's bloody lovely, isn't it? Takes a screw a couple of seconds to muck up a project we've been slaving our guts out on for days.
All right, ladies, come on, back to work.
I bet she did that deliberately. She never was too keen on the attendance centre project.
Come on, move it.
It's always the same, isn't it? We get something going and a screws it up.
Well, you didn't do too badly yourself. All that yelling isn't exactly going to endear us to the neighbourhood.
Well, it looks like we're attracting the cream of it today, eh, girls?
All right, I'll handle this. You lot keep working and shut up.
Afternoon, sir.
It's funny Fletch hasn't been in to see how we're getting on.
Yeah, I'll just go and have a gander, see what's going on.
Sure you've had enough to eat, Peter?
Yeah, you bet. You can make lunch for me anytime.
Better than cold fish and chips all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, door! It's the cops!
Oh, it can't be. Oh, it's Mrs. Morris, but she promised.
Well, what's happening?
Oh, good, it's them, all right.
Mean, rotten bitch. It's Mrs. Morris. She's gone and dobbed you in.
What's the problem?
Are you in charge here?
That's right. I'm Jim Fletcher. I'm Deputy Governor of Wentworth Detention Centre.
We had a phone call, a complaint.
Who from?
Well, let's just say a local resident. Claims there are women prisoners running amok and endangering the neighbourhood.
That's ridiculous.
Well, her story is she's afraid to come out of her own house for fear of being attacked.
Yeah, well, I don't see any crazy women running amok. Do you?
These women are prisoners, though.
Yes, that's right. They're trusted ones. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here.